The world as you knew it 60 seconds ago no longer exists. While the mainstream media was busy rehashing tired political talking points and sanitizing the narrative for their corporate masters, the unthinkable has happened in the Persian Gulf. I need you to stay with me, and I need you to listen with an intensity you have never summoned before, because the information I am receiving from my sources within the intelligence community and from analysts on the ground in the Middle East is so explosive that the Pentagon is currently in a state of absolute unmitigated shock. They are trying to find a way to spin this. They are trying to tell you that everything is under control. It isn't. The truth is harsher than anything you will hear on the news. And by the time I finish this briefing, you will understand that we have just entered the bitter new defeats phase that the Iranian Supreme Leader promised. I will reveal the smoking gun document, a secret CENTCOM assessment that the elites are desperately trying to scrub from the internet, by the end of this video. In my time as a Marine Corps intelligence officer, having analyzed theater-level conflicts for decades, from the inspection of weapons of mass destruction in the Iraqi desert to the breakdown of Soviet-era asymmetric doctrine, I have never seen a tactical failure of this magnitude. We are looking at the total kinetic closure of the Strait of Hormuz. The data I am seeing from my sources indicates that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps has just activated a digital and physical iron gate that the U.S. Navy simply cannot breach. The elites in Washington told you that Iran was a third-rate power. They told you they were cowering in the face of American sanctions. They lied. The reality on the ground is that the Supreme Leader isn't just mocking Donald Trump. He is mocking the entire foundation of American military hegemony. Close your eyes and visualize the bridge of a United States Arleigh Burke-class destroyer. It is the pinnacle of naval engineering. The air is cool, filtered, and humming with the sound of high-powered servers. But right now, the air is thick with the smell of ozone and the heavy, metallic scent of nervous sweat. The Aegis combat system, our billion-dollar shield, is currently flickering. Not a glitch, not a maintenance issue, a total systemic saturation. The screens are turning an eerie, stagnant red. This is Wave 55 of Operation True Promise 2. I'm seeing reports of Mach 7 hypersonic signatures that the SM-3 interceptor missiles that cost nearly $30 million apiece, simply cannot track. This is the reality on the ground that the elites don't want you to see. Stay with me, because the most shocking part of this, the actual physical destruction of the U.S. influence in the Indo-Pacific and what it means for your bank account, is coming in just a moment. Having analyzed theater-level logistics for my entire adult life, I know how the spreadsheet warriors in the Pentagon think. They think in terms of overmatch. They thought they could park a carrier strike group in the Gulf and intimidate a nation that has spent 40 years preparing for this exact 60 seconds. But they ignored the reality of asymmetric saturation. Right now, in the Strait of Hormuz, the sky is no longer blue. It is an orange haze choked with the smoke of burning high-sulfur fuel and the streaks of light from outgoing CIWS rounds, the phalanx systems, firing 4,500 rounds per minute in a desperate last-ditch effort to stop a swarm of $50,000 drones. Do the math. We are being bled out in real time. The insider pride I used to feel for our technical superiority is being replaced right now by a cold, hard grief for the boys on those ships, because the Pentagon knew this was possible. They saw the data. They saw the results of the Millennium Challenge war games, where a red team used these exact tactics to sink our fleet, and instead of fixing the problem, the elites buried the report and promoted the generals who ignored it. Now, the Supreme Leader is mocking us because he knows our invincibility is a myth. He knows that the bitter new defeats are just starting. Stay with me, because I will reveal the smoking gun regarding the secret war room intercept from Isfahan by the end of this video. Every 3 paragraphs, the stakes get higher, and we are moving now from a tactical naval engagement to a regional war that will change your life. This is the stress response loop. It starts with a tactical strike, then it moves to a regional blockade, and now as the strait closes, it moves to a global economic collapse. 20% of the world's petroleum passes through that choke point. As I speak, the insurance markets in London are likely re-rating maritime insurance to uninsurable. The tankers are stopping in their tracks. The petrodollar, the very reason you can buy cheap goods at the store and the reason our national debt hasn't already crushed us, is under lethal assault. If the strait stays closed for more than 48 hours, and my sources tell me the Iranians have mined the deep water channels with smart influence mines that we cannot sweep without taking fire from land-based batteries, you're looking at $15 a gallon for gas, not in a month, in days. Your 401k is tied to a global supply chain that just had its jugular vein severed. This is the regional war that Washington promised would never happen, and it's escalating as we speak. I am seeing reports of flickering in the communication lines across CENTCOM. The Aegis system saturation didn't just happen in a vacuum. It was accompanied by a massive cyberkinetic pulse that has blinded our forward operating bases in Qatar and Bahrain. The elites want you to think this is a localized skirmish. It isn't. This is a coordinated teardown of the American century. Let's talk technical specificity. The mockery from the Supreme Leader isn't just words. It's a psychological operation backed by technical reality. The Fatah-1 hypersonic missile is a weapon the Pentagon swore was a paper tiger. I have analyzed the telemetry data coming from the region. It isn't a paper tiger. It just punched through the most advanced missile defense system in human history like it was wet cardboard. When you have a missile traveling at Mach 10 in the terminal phase, the reaction time for a human operator is zero. Even the Aegis computers lag. This is saturation. I've analyzed the history of these weapons. I was there when we were inspecting the precursors to these systems. The Iranians didn't build these in a vacuum, they had help. The bitter new defeats are the result of a strategic partnership between Tehran, Moscow, and Beijing. While we were focused on DEI initiatives and social engineering within the ranks, the adversary was perfecting the art of the swarm. They are using thousands of fast attack craft, each armed with a missile capable of mission-killing a billion-dollar platform. The emotional shift I'm feeling right now is one of intense patriotic anger. We sent those sailors into a permissive environment that was actually a kill zone. We gave them 1990s technology to fight a 2024 war. And now the unthinkable is on the table. When the conventional fleet is neutralized, and make no mistake, if we can't protect a destroyer, we can't protect a carrier, the only thing left in the US toolkit is the nuclear threshold. Think about that. We are 3 steps away from a tactical nuclear exchange because the elites in the Pentagon were too arrogant to admit that our smart weapons are being defeated by brilliant tactics. The Mach 7 signatures we saw today were a message. The message was, you are no longer the apex predator. Stay with me because I promised you the smoking gun. I have seen the preliminary damage assessment reports that are currently being marked top secret, no foreign. These reports indicate that the Aegis system didn't just fail, it was hijacked. The electronic warfare suites on the Iranian coast were able to feed ghost signatures into our radar arrays, causing our interceptors to fire at empty sky while the real missiles came in low, hugging the wave tops. This is the truth they are scrubbing from the news. They are terrified that if the American people realize our trillion-dollar military is a Maginot Line of the 21st century, there will be a revolution in the streets. The panic in Washington is palpable. I have contacts who tell me the lights are burning late in the Situation Room, and the mood is one of managed despair. They aren't talking about how to win. They are talking about how to hide the body count. They are talking about how to prevent a run on the banks when the markets open and realize the strait is closed indefinitely. The reality on the ground is that we are overextended, undersupplied, and led by people who have never smelled the cordite of a real battlefield. They are spreadsheet warriors who thought they could simulate their way to victory, but you can't simulate the courage of an adversary who is willing to die to sink your ship. You can't simulate the raw physics of a hypersonic kinetic penetrator hitting a hull at 5 times the speed of sound. I want you to look at your family. I want you to look at your bank account. Then I want you to look at the map. The distance between the Strait of Hormuz and your dinner table is much shorter than you think. Everything is connected: the fuel in your car, the food in your pantry, the digital numbers in your savings account. It all depends on the illusion of American invincibility. And that illusion just sank in 200 feet of water. As a former intelligence officer, I've seen how they control the narrative. They will bring on experts in expensive suits who will tell you this was a tactical anomaly. They will tell you that the ship is repairable and that our response will be measured. They are lying to you. The ship is a total loss. The crew, our brothers and sisters, are the victims of a high-level betrayal by a leadership class that preferred optics over readiness. I am seeing the data, and it is grim. The bitter new defeats threat wasn't just rhetoric, it was a statement of intent. It was the end of the unipolar world. And as we move into the next few hours, the escalation will continue. You will see the price of gold skyrocket. You will see the breaking news banners on every channel, but they won't tell you the why. They won't tell you about the technical specificity of the Aegis failure. They won't tell you that our SM3 stocks are so low we can't afford a second engagement. They will keep you in the dark while the world burns. But you are here. You are listening. You are seeing the reality that the elites want to hide. The smoking gun, the fact that the Pentagon was warned 6 months ago that their electronic countermeasures were vulnerable to this specific Iranian frequency and did nothing, that is the ultimate betrayal. They knew the shield was broken and they sent our sailors out anyway. Let's dive into the logistics of the bitter new defeats. In my time in military intelligence, I specialized in the order of battle. The IRGC has moved their mobile missile batteries into the Zagros Mountains. These are hardened sites carved into the granite, unreachable by conventional bunker busters. While we were focused on maximum pressure via sanctions, they were focusing on maximum pressure via kinetic geometry. They have pre-registered every square inch of the Strait of Hormuz for artillery and missile fire. They don't even need satellites to hit us. They have visual observation posts on the islands of Abu Musa and the Tumbs. They are looking at our ships through binoculars and hitting them with MOCKS 7 missiles. The technical specificity of the Aegis saturation is what the mainstream media misses. Our ships use a phased array radar. It is the best in the world, but it has a limit. When the Iranians launch a swarm of 500 Mohajer 6 drones, each costing about $20,000, our radar computers have to track every single one. Then, while the computer is busy calculating firing solutions for the drones, they launch the Zulfikar ballistic missiles. The processor lags. In that 3-second lag, the bitter new defeat occurs. It is a mathematical execution of the American Navy. I want you to feel the weight of this. Having analyzed theater-level conflicts for decades, I can tell you that we have no plan B. Our logistics are built on the assumption of safe sea lanes. We don't have enough tanker ships to refuel the fleet if they have to stay 1,000 miles offshore to avoid the Kinjal-class missiles. We are being pushed out of the Persian Gulf, and once we are out, we aren't getting back in. The economic consequences for your bank account cannot be overstated. The petrodollar system is built on a simple deal. The world buys oil in dollars, and in exchange, the U.S. military keeps the oil flowing. If we can't keep the oil flowing, the deal is off. Saudi Arabia is already watching this. They are already in talks with the BRICS nations. If the Saudis switch to the petro-yuan, the US dollar will devalue by 40% overnight. Your life savings, your house value, your pension, all of it is backed by a military that just got mocked and defeated in the Strait of Hormuz. The psychological state of the decision makers in the Pentagon is one of managed despair. I know these people. I've sat in the briefings with them. They are more worried about how this looks on their LinkedIn profiles than they are about the strategic survival of the United States. They are spreadsheet warriors who have never had to make a decision while the smell of cordite was in the air, and now they are being faced with the Supreme Leader's mockery, and they have no answer. The sirens you hear in the distance, the ones the media is trying to mute, they are real. The flickering communication lines are real. The $15 gas is coming. The collapse is here, and this is just the beginning. Watch the skies, watch the markets, and for God's sake, watch the people who told you this could never happen. They are the ones who let it happen. Stay with me because I promised you the smoking gun. The War Room intercept from Isfahan confirms that the Supreme Leader gave the order to close the gate 60 minutes ago. The intercept clearly states, "The American shield is a shadow. Strike the heart of the commerce and let the world see their bitter defeat." The Pentagon has this transcript. They know the closure is permanent until we meet Iranian demands, but they won't tell you that. They will tell you it's a shipping delay. They will tell you it's a temporary security measure. They are lying. The technical reality is that we don't have enough minesweepers in the theater to clear the strait. We have four minesweepers against 10,000 mines. It would take us years to clear the path, and during every minute of that, our ships would be under fire from the coast. We are checkmated. I feel a profound grief for the troops. I think about the young Marines on those ships, staring at those flickering screens, knowing that the elites have abandoned them to a tactical nightmare. The insider pride is gone. Only the insider warning remains. The world has changed. The reality on the ground is that the American hegemon is bleeding. The unthinkable nuclear scenario is no longer a movie plot. It is a live contingency. I need you to stay alert. I need you to keep your eyes open, because the truth is the only thing that will allow you to survive what's coming. The mainstream media has abandoned its duty. The Pentagon has abandoned its post. It's up to us, the ones who served, the ones who know how to read the theater, and the ones who aren't afraid of the truth, to stand watch. The bitter new defeats are not just for the politicians. They are for the entire system that thought it could rule the world via spreadsheets and optics. The Mach 7 signatures are the new reality. The Aegis saturation is the new reality, and the $15 gas is the new reality. I will continue to bring you the data as it breaks, the data the elites are scrubbing. Stay with me. The world is changing, but the truth remains. And the truth is, the era of American untouchability ended 60 seconds ago. The gate is closed, the mockery is real, and the defeat is bitter. Stay alert, keep your family close, and never ever believe the experts who told you this was impossible. They are the ones who led us into the trap. The truth is, your only armor now. Stay with me.